Special thanks to Syntech for collaborating with me and sending me these products to review. So as of the making of this video, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be released in exactly 1 week. That's 7 days from now. So I can't even wait. I can't even, like, my head is like... Anyways, the Nintendo Switch accessories is continuing to grow. I already made a Nintendo Switch 2 video about all the accessories that you may potentially need. I'll post that up right here, so make sure you go watch that one next. However, the company Syntech reached out to me and they said, "Hey Derek, you're so awesome. Why don't you review 2 of our Nintendo Switch 2 accessories?" They may or may not have said awesome, but I'm gonna go with it. Anyways, that's what's in this package right here. Let's go and get into it. And here we go. The first accessory we have is going to be Syntech's Nintendo Switch steering wheel accessory. We're gonna break into this. This is a 2-pack, so when you're out on the track beating your brother on Mario Kart, this might actually come in handy. First, let's start off with the steering wheel. Again, this is going to be the brand Syntech. You can see it says steering wheel there. It says compatible with Switch 2, so I'm not quite sure if this is actually going to work for the Switch 1. I guess we can try that out. It is a 2-pack, so you basically get 2 steering wheels in here. Again, this is not going to include any Joy-Cons, be that the first or the second Switch. Has precision fit with ergonomic grip and then also durable construction. And then on the back end, you can see it says precision design, plug and play, ergonomic SL and SR buttons, and an immersive experience. So let's go ahead and cut the seal right here. Pretty simplistic packing. There's literally nothing else in there, maybe some user manual paperwork, but other than that, there's nothing else. And then here are going to be the actual 2 controllers for the Nintendo Switch. This is going to be the steering wheel controllers. Again, I'm gonna have to say that these things are adorable. I have like medium-sized hands, and the fact that I can hold this pretty comfortably, it's actually pretty cool. This is going to be where the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons would be, and then you could see on the flip side that there's going to be the SL and SR button here. So you can see that's pretty cool. I didn't know that that was a feature or function. I was fully expecting it to just kind of be using the built-in SL and SR buttons. But again, the Switch 2 Joy-Con would show up in here. This is actually relatively light. So if you're that person that always has the blue shell in Mario Kart, you may actually be able to use this, and it may just give you the power you need to make first place. So in regards to size, it's actually really not large, but it's also not small either. It's small enough to put in your purse. It's also small enough to put in the small pocket of your backpack or what have you. But here is an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and you can see here that it's actually going to be relatively the same size. It's not like overly big or small. It's obviously a different shape and design, but it's not by any means a big accessory. So let's go and check and see if the first Switch Joy-Con will fit in here. So we have my broken Joy-Con here, and we're gonna place it in there like that. So it says compatible for the Nintendo Switch 2, but it actually should say that it is made for the Nintendo Switch 2. But you can see here that having a Nintendo Switch 1 Joy-Con in here is just not going to work. I guess you could technically put some rubber bands like this if you want, or some hair ties, and then you could play your Switch like that, which just doesn't seem ideal. But can we take a moment really quick to identify that the Switch 2's Joy-Con is actually that much bigger than Nintendo Switch 1. So I mean, that's a pretty sizable difference. I'm not one of those people who got one of the mock-up versions in the Nintendo Switch, so I don't actually have a Nintendo Switch 2, but this is really going to be a game changer whenever you have friends or family over and you have Mario Kart or some other type of racing game. This is actually, again, it really just adds to the immersion, because if you could just imagine that the Joy-Con is going to be right here and you're just driving along your little go-kart or whatever, it's actually really comfortable. It's really, really light. And again, these little buttons on the back, the kind of trigger buttons, super cool. So obviously, since I don't have the Nintendo Switch 2 yet, which I will in a week, I will do a follow-up review video on this set of accessories. The other accessory that Syntech sent me is going to be the Nintendo Switch 2 controller charging stand. And it looks like you can put 4 Joy-Cons on this at one time. Again, it says compatible with the Switch 2. I'm assuming that just means it's made specifically for the Switch 2. It says here at the bottom left-hand corner, multi-slot design, intelligent safe charging, LED indicator system, and user-friendly design. So flipping it to the back here, you can see kind of just some voltage for input, output, and things like that. Again, this is all going to be subjective to where you're watching this. Continuing to unbox it, we have 2 little stickers on the top left and right hand side. And let's go ahead and cut into those. And here we have it. Again, very simplistic packing. We have the kind of, I guess, the charging station with nothing else in there, but it looks like a user manual. And then we have the Nintendo Switch wire. Oh, it's actually connected. So the wire is actually put on the outside as a means to kind of secure the plastic, which is innovative, I guess. But this is a USB-A wire. And then let's slide this puppy out. And this is going to be the actual Nintendo Switch 2 controller charging dock. So again, this is going to be for 4 Joy-Cons. You can see right here, this is going to be where the Joy-Con would fit in, and there's obviously 4 of those on this exact same charging dock. There is going to be a little bit of a button right here for power, and then at the top of the device, it looks like we have some plus or minus signs. Not quite sure what that means yet, but let's go and plug this thing into power so we can look and see what kind of lights we're working with. All right, so here we have my battery pack, and I'm going to plug in the USB. And once I plug it in, you can see that the lights kind of start to flicker there. I'm not sure if the camera caught it, but let's see. There's no other type of buttons on this charging station except for the power button right here. I'm not sure if the camera is going to pick that up, but here's the power button. Pressing and holding, nothing. I'm guessing that's because there's obviously no Joy-Cons attached. But essentially, when you have the Joy-Con, again, pretending that this is the Switch 2 Joy-Con, it would fit in like so. And then you would obviously, if you have multiple Joy-Cons, you at least get 1 pair of Joy-Cons with the Switch. So right off the bat, if you're using this docking station for the pair of Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons you get with the Nintendo Switch 2, you would have one like that and then the other one on the other side. So when I was doing my research on this particular charging station by Syntech, is that when you have your Joy-Cons added to the actual docking station, these lights on top with that plus sign and negative sign, they're actually going to be indicating whether your Joy-Con is charged or not. So from my understanding, again, I'm going to do a follow-up review, is going to be if you have a Joy-Con or a pair of Joy-Cons connected to this, again, just pretend in your mind's eye these are Joy-Con 2s. If the light on top is red, then your Joy-Cons are not done charging. However, if the light on top is green, then they are done charging. So again, this is all theory right now. I can't actually prove it because I don't have the Nintendo Switch 2 yet, but I promise I will be doing a follow-up video just so that way if you are interested in this docking station and or the Syntech steering wheel for the Nintendo Switch 2. So I personally am not too familiar with Syntech. I've seen their brand while doom scrolling on Amazon, but truthfully, I've never actually had any Syntech accessories or devices or anything like that until today. And honestly, when I looked up Syntech, I was kind of like, what kind of company is this? And the company is actually, they have a lot of accessories. They have like a lot of gadget accessories, and they have like sling bags, and they have like a whole bunch of things. So I personally wouldn't be making a video if I didn't do my research on the company first. Personally wouldn't be making a video to basically advertise their product for free here on YouTube or wherever else I'm posting this and saying, hey, look at this device, especially if their items weren't good or maybe they don't get really good reviews on Amazon. So me being unfamiliar with the Syntech brand and their items means that I'm not biased for or against their devices. And that ultimately means for you is that you're going to get the most honest review out of me possible. Make sure you stay tuned by hitting like and subscribe down below because like I said, I will be doing a follow-up video for the steering wheel as well as the controller. Okay, everybody, super short video. I really just want to show off these 2 accessories for the Nintendo Switch 2 because Syntech had sent them out to me. I will be doing a follow-up review video for these 2 accessories so that way you know if they're worth purchasing or not. Also, by the way, if you're interested in purchasing these 2 accessories, either the steering wheel or the charging dock, I put their Amazon links down below so that way you can go ahead and purchase this on your own. Keep in mind that even though I'm collaborating with Syntech, I'm not getting any type of commission to them. So all of this is pure honest reviews. Even though companies reach out to me to review their products, I'm not going to personally review a product that I would pass on to you if I don't have confidence in it. And so before I end the video, I want to give you a little bit of an update to the Nintendo Switch bundle that I'm going to be giving away. In my previous video, I said all you have to do is like, subscribe, and donate at least $1 to the Great Pacific Trash Patch in the Pacific Ocean. And so there was only a handful of you that actually donated. So I want to express my greatest gratitude for helping me save the Earth. One of you did donate and you asked me to donate to Autism of America. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to take your donation and I'm going to donate that to the Autism of America. But out of my own pocket, I'm going to match your donation and still donate that to the Great Pacific Trash Patch in the Pacific. So that way we both get what we wanted. And to add to that, because the Nintendo Switch 2 is coming out next week, the raffle is completely done. I'm going to start folding up some Post-it notes and throwing them into a bucket, throw it across the room, and whichever one my cat chases and chews on is going to be the winner. So amongst the 5 or 6 of you that did donate to charity, if you are the lucky winner, I do have your email in the Buy Me a Coffee link. So I will reach out to you via emails so that way you are now the lucky and proud owner of a Nintendo Switch 2 bundle. The raffle for the Nintendo Switch 2 accessory is still active. Again, all you have to do is like and subscribe, and then leave a comment down below with your most favoritist Nintendo game ever made. And that raffle will close here shortly. So if you want to see what type of accessory that you could potentially win, make sure you watch one of these 2 videos. I'll see you in the next one.